What's up, music junkies? Thank you for tuning in for a new episode. And today we have a band called Keep Flying. Well, John from Keep Flying. Appreciate you coming on the show. First question, just kind of what I always ask is, how did you guys get started? How did you guys, come into the scene and into this band
Well,
together?
first of all, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. Love doing podcasts. Super, super. It's actually something I realized about 6 months ago, how I'd much rather do podcasts than any sort of other type of interview.
Yeah,
Person. Uh, but to answer your question, pretty much every member of the band was involved in music to a different capacity. There is an age gap between me being the oldest and Charlie, who is our youngest. It's a 10-year gap. So when we started the band 2016, he was 20 and I was going to be turning 30. So we both have, as far as either end of the spectrum, we both were involved in the music industry in a different capacity.
yeah,
But how it started overall, Henry, our singer, was in a band called Survey Says, and he was the most active with his. All of us have been in older bands, but his last band was Survey Says, and he was the last one to like have his band break up. And I got the call asking if I'd be interested in recording sax on some new songs that he had written, that were not going to be Survey Says songs because the band was going to go
yeah,
defunct. He came to my house. We had a large discussion about him being upset about not having as much ska music in the actual songs, because he always just wanted to be the guy to make ska come back in full, and respect
yeah,
to that.
yeah.
Totally respect. I tried it too, a couple years prior, uh, but yeah, he came over and I gave him some suggestions on why don't you just try taking out the upstrokes, so on and so forth. And he went home and then he sent me some demos, and I was like, yo, this is some of the best songs I've heard in a long time. I would love to record on this EP. And at the time, I was touring very heavily for work. And then I went to the studio and I recorded my stuff. And then that was it. I was like, I need to do this. I'm in. I want to be in a band again. This is going to be strange, but I've had the conversation and I think it's time. And we had a different drummer in the beginning. He left. And we got our friend Pete, who was a friend of Henry and his brother, who were both in the band at the time, from Jersey to drum, and he's been the drummer since. And then Charlie was a friend of theirs through New Jersey, Pennsylvania scene, the Sherman Theater in Stroudsburg, his old bands. Um, and so that's kind of how it came together. We've had a couple people step out since then, and a couple people step in. We had some fill-ins here and there, but pretty much just the hodgepodge of a bunch of gentlemen who had old bands had broken up or moved on, and just kind of all of us kind of merged together from different states, because we span across 3 states now. It's
Yeah.
probably for the best, because I never truly felt like I was making anything of severe value after I was 21 with anyone from home. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always the
Uh,
case, huh? Your hometown friends are
yeah,
always,
I was gonna ask you what's like the hardest thing about making music for you guys, but it sounds like getting together to practice. I mean, what else?
we don't practice.
them.
We just don't. That's like a punk thing. Before tours, we usually meet up like the day before or the morning we're leaving to rehearse the songs. Um, for writing, it's been different each record. The way that we got songs together has been different each time. So I can't say we have a uniform method yet, but we've definitely figured out how to do it. Um,
What would you be willing to share some of those that actually do work with you? Like, so what is your writing process like?
so our newest record, which isn't out yet,
Okay.
a lot of the core of the songs Henry formulated and then sends to us in Google Drive or Dropbox links. And then we as a band actually got together to jam the songs, like rehearse them as demos, and then we kind of changed them. And then we went to the studio prematurely, knowing that we would work with our friends who are great producers to change them slightly more. And that's exactly what we did. And then I actually stayed awake all night, each night after we finished a song, working on horns in like a side room.
Yeah.
Again, just demoing on one of our computers with just a 57, just looping the parts that we thought horns should go in, and then seeing how everybody felt the next day. And that worked really well. We have always wanted to like do the thing where some friends have done, where they go and rent a space for like 5 days in the woods somewhere and just like jam. But the way that our lives are and the distance that we have, like pretty much everyone in the band has to work and just can't take off when we're already taking off work for
recording and all that.
Yeah. All that.
Right. So that really worked this time through. I think our formula going forward is going to be exactly that. Like, who's got core songs, even like half-assed demos, record them quick, send them over. And because all of us kind of are able to work from our own homes on the stuff, so we can lay down parts on top. And then we like writing more. We like producing and writing in the studio as well. Yeah. It's like nice to just organically take that part. We can grow it, add a guitar lead. We can, okay, let's move those lyrics around. Okay, let's scrap that whole part completely.
Just making magic in the studio sometimes just feels so good, you know, when everyone's there, everyone's giving in input and stuff.
If we had the time and the money, like, I would love to, instead of like a week, I would love to spend a month, like like a lot of artists, like bigger artists are able to just afford to do, like just be there for a month. Oh, who knows? Might take a song and have it done and completely change it. Like with a month, there's so much time. But I think the way that things are going in this day and age, it's a lot easier for pretty much anyone to just get a simple interface and a simple program and be able to record like a scratch guitar track on program. It's like really simple. So more power to that, because it wasn't as simple as that for me when I was younger. And also I still couldn't really figure it out now because my brain is just bad when it comes to
yeah. So there's we talked about this before. There's this program that everyone could collaborate virtually, so you don't even have to be in the same location. Someone just records their guitar and everyone sees it and everyone hears it and everyone could just add to it and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool, and that is
awesome.
That's a new time. When we were young, it was just all about everyone having to meet up in this fucking little ass room and
pain in the ass.
Oh my god, me and Jake would practice in a little 10x10 room with drums, 3 amps, everything all cluttered into one, when now everyone could just do it from the comfort of their fucking home and shit.
Yeah, that is definitely how we practice. It'll be like, okay, yo, we're going to meet up tomorrow because we're leaving for tour the next day.
Yeah, like a rehearsal.
Everybody will just run the songs themselves at home. And then I do find that when we do practice, it's like we get through pretty much as if we never stopped playing.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of...
It's like, who did their homework.
Right. Exactly. After about the first 3 shows, we're back in it. It's more so not the performing, but our live show is like hyper energy. So it's more so it takes like 3 or 4 days for us to get used to putting out the same energy, because we're all like gassed out. First show back, like especially after all this that's going on, first show back, I'm going to be gassed out the first 2 songs. 2 songs, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I can't move. I can't.
Out of shape and everything.
So I'm going to have to do something crazy to make up for it. I don't know.
Yeah. Throw yourself. So how did you guys, did you guys all have the same, punk rock background, or did you guys come from like different backgrounds, or, it was just all
like what your inspirations? I'm curious about that.
Okay, so but first, everyone's kind of from their own world, but we're all definitely crossed over in some of this. Like we all agree on some punk bands, we all agree on some metal bands. We all agree on some ska bands, some pop punk bands, like certain ones we all agree on, and then everyone's got their own path. So there's definitely that aspect. As far as influences, like Henry, he's super into Andrew McMahon and The Used and Real Big Fish. He loves that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pete grew up with like punk and hardcore and like 7 Seconds and stuff, but now he's like really into rap, like newer rap.
Yeah.
And I like it because I can see it in his drumming. I see what he's doing when he's trying to incorporate certain things that you'd hear electronically on a rap track in like our punk music. Charlie's more into the Green Day punk bands, and then he kind of fell into like the Frights and Fiddler kind of realm. Like that's where he fits in, like the more like authentic, punk style like that. Chuck is into a lot of stuff, but he's still into like a lot of the indie rock and the pop punk and the Saves the Days and things like this. And I love Weird Al.
The parody.
Weird Al.
Weird Al is probably one of the best writers, singer-songwriters that has ever existed.
Unbelievable.
He could take any song and make it a comedic genius.
Dirty Deeds done with sheep.
He's a legend.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone better than Weird Al.
And he's still out there doing it. He's still hitting platinum, and he's still touring. Whenever he does a tour, it's like a world tour. And I go every time. It's my first concert, and I want it to be my last concert. When he announces his retirement tour,
you're gonna be.
I think I'll go to his last show, and I'll be like, I'm done going to live music now. Sorry.
Never again. Never.
That's it. Live music is
that's the last thing ever. So, where you've toured many places. What's the best place, or do you think that has the best fan base, best ambient, best all around best show, or your favorite place to go?
So I've been touring for 15 years now, pretty much 10 months a year until now with COVID. But so I'm going to talk specifically about the tenure with Keep Flying, because there's a lot of other things and places, but the Keep Flying hasn't gone there.
Yeah.
As far as like with Keep Flying, what I've noticed, and it's been like so refreshing, is that all of the, because I had this experience only once before with an older band in like 2007, 2008 time. But all of the like C market cities that are off the beaten path, where we're doing more DIY shows or like house shows or like, non-conventional venues, those, even on a Monday or a Tuesday, seem to be the most appreciative and the most excited. For instance, not everybody's going to Charleston, but when we go there, it's always a blast. People are just having a good time. They don't even know the words. They don't even know the band. They're just like enjoying it.
They're just so happy there's a band.
The energy, they're feeding off of it.
When we go to upstate New York, we do well in Buffalo, but we also play a college town about 50 minutes southwest of Buffalo called Fredonia. It's always crazy, always packed, whether it's at their little bar BJ's or it's at the house show 37, the house venue at 37 Maple. It's always packed, even on a Monday, like I said. Some other places, we love personally the Panhandle. Like, we've had some great shows in Pensacola, and we have some super supportive fans who will buy everything we have when we come through, which is like all you can ask for when you're playing shows to make no guarantee. It's like, if you pick up stuff, that is how we're
that's your gas.
Paying for.
That's your gas. That's your food.
Yep. Chicago's been very, very kind to us. I know I was saying C Market, like off the beaten path, but Chicago as a city is amazing to us. Our home cities are all amazing to us. Long Island's amazing to us. I'm trying to think of, and Texas. We have flown to Texas and done specific Texas tours 3 times with just shows in Texas and then gone home. We play more shows in Texas than any band I know, and they're always a blast. We play a place called Bryan, Texas, which is again off the path between Austin and Houston. Amazing. People are just appreciative that you came on a Tuesday night at little like DIY bar venue. It's like that's always a blessing. We went to Keep Flying went to the West Coast once so far, and we had some great times there, but we only went once, so I can't really speak yet until we see how it goes next time.
Where did you go?
Polo.
We were on tour with Home Safe, and we did pretty much like a ton of shows on the West Coast. We started. There was a Seattle date, Seattle, Portland, Coos Bay, Oregon, which was on the coast. You've never heard of it. I've never heard of it.
Huh?
Ever heard of a show there? That show was very interesting, but we had a freaking blast that night. Sacramento, a bunch of LA shows. We did our own off-day show on like an Orange Grove in the middle, like north of LA, which was awesome. Again, just another just like nowhere. We were in the middle of nowhere. My buddy Charlie Saxton showed up amongst other friends. It was like my friends from the city drove to that show because they knew that it'd be easier for them to just drive to that show outside of the city and that they'd have a better time than coming to the show.
Then coming in the city, in the middle of LA. Yeah.
It was awesome finally playing Chain Reaction in Anaheim with my own band. That was awesome. But, that's just a classic spot.
Yeah, Chain Reaction's a legendary spot here in the West Coast. It's like the Whiskey, the Roxy, out in LA, Anaheim area. Those are probably the best places.
It was good for us to finally play there. I'm very grateful that we got to do that. I hope we get to do it again because I believe our music is strongly geared towards
West Coast punk. Yeah.
We have been trying. We tried a little too hard to get in with and play to a scene of people and bands that people respect, including myself. For like the last year and a half, and I think we just kind of lost touch with the fact that we are in fact just a punk band, and we really perform best when we're just playing to people who are interested in hearing punk music and having a good time, not really worrying about too much else.
Yeah.
So like right before COVID hit, we had finished a tour with Real Big Fish, and it was our most successful for sure because their fans were just like older punk people who are just looking to drink beer and have a good time. I don't drink, but I respect it and I understand. You just want to escape reality for a half an hour and have fun, and I think that's where we excel the best. So like, there's always those like Punk's Not Dead Fest with the Bad Religions and the Pennywises, Punk Rock Bowling in Las Vegas, like all of those places where all these old head punk bands play, and I really think that we would do really well amongst that kind of crowd.
How do you think? Did you guys do Warped Tour when it was still around?
Yeah, we got to do the last 2 years. We did the very last Asbury Park one, or rather Atlantic City, on the East Coast, which was our best show we ever played. It was amazing. And the year before we did a couple dates. So I'm glad we got to do that because I worked the tour for many years and never got to play it the right way with my own band. So I'm glad that got to happen before the tour went away.
Yeah, I still think,
but had we done a full tour of it, it would have been, we would have done great. There's no question.
Yeah.
We're an entertaining band. We would have made people laugh, have a good time. We would have spent all day walking around, engaging with people, coming up with skits and pranks and, trying to get people's interest from not seeing us perform, but just seeing us doing stupid stuff around,
So I still think to this day that Warped Tour was the best platform for an artist to grow. Especially, in this edgier scene, rock, even reggae, because there was a bunch of reggae bands that joined Warped Tour at one point, punk, all the whole scene. I think Warped Tour was one of the best ways to get, music out there and new bands, out there. Because I can't count how many bands I found because of Warped Tour.
Same. I couldn't agree more. I think that pretty much, with the exception of a select few, pretty much every band that spent an entire summer on that tour brand grew from
Mhm.
being on the tour, with the
Yep.
exception of a few bands. If you did it, you came out of that with more fans.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a shame, but it had to go away. It just was time.
Yeah, yeah. Always have to retire.
The
Stuff always has to retire. Yeah.
2017 year was tough on the people that I care about who are involved with that festival, and I would have hated. I would have hated um, to see that happen again.
Yeah, yeah. And
So I'm glad
honestly,
they.
I still think that this scene, this music genre has died significantly. That a lot of it has like vanished. Fans now, or kids nowadays are pretty much mostly mainly listening to mainstream rap, mainstream pop, stuff like that. And it's so crazy because when I was growing up, the scene everywhere, rock, hardcore, punk, everything was so big. And now it's like you go to these smaller cities and you don't no one listens to you know these bands, and it's so crazy.
That's that is definitely how it is, how it has progressed.
Yeah,
Going to take to have resurgence in certain genres. I don't know. Sometimes those bands come and they do it, but other times there's a lot of new stuff going on that I like, and then there's a lot of new stuff going on that I'm truly like at a loss because I either A, don't understand it, or B, feel so disconnected because it's become more than just music, and that's sometimes doesn't work for me.
yeah,
Sometimes I just want to listen to the record and like or read the lyrics while I'm listening to a record, and I don't know. It's just like I said, it also comes with age. I think the older we get, sometimes it's like, here are the bands that I love. Hearing these new bands, I'm trying to pull something from it, trying to pull value, and sometimes I can, and sometimes it's really, really hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's I guess
Well,
that's true.
is there anything that you would change in the industry?
there's a lot I would change in the industry. Um, I plan to actually,
You want to
upon my departure
share a
from the,
little bit?
I plan to write a short book. I have a lot to say on things that I've seen or heard or witnessed or been a part of that are that suck. Um, but the industry is like all business, and all business is politics
Yeah,
and money, and that's just what it is. I'm sorry, if you don't think that, I don't know what to tell you. It's just it's like every other business. It's
yeah,
just money, politics, and you can either do what you want and have fun with it and accept it's going to get you as much as it's going to get you and be good with that, or you're going to just be disappointed. For us, I'm 34. Henry's now 31. The other guys are in their mid to later 20s. Like I'm happy. Like we have our people. We make new people. That's great. We put out a record for X amount of people, and they love it. That's sure. I'm not trying to shop to labels anymore because it's all political. It's all how are you going to make them sales?
yeah.
And
How,
the fact of the matter is the music industry is on a decline.
yeah,
There's less money for everyone, so everything is less. So that's just how it is. So you either do it because you still love it, or you're doing it trying to squeeze whatever money you can.
yeah.
And
People are trying to hope that they're the next Beyonce and Jay Z and you know people like that, and it's impossible. You're never gonna get to that point. Those are
that's a one in a billion.
yeah, yeah, and it's they don't
And there's
need the
billion.
industry doesn't need another one of them. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna be the next one. People need to learn that music is for growing, is for helping people get through shit. It's just for just having a good time, stuff like that. But it's the industry. You're not gonna make money with happiness.
Life has a funny way of like circling. The last big new artist I think we could all agree is Billie Eilish, right? She came kind of out of
Yeah.
nowhere. She blew big now. One of my very, very dear friends, Brian Marquis, was out on the road in a band called Therefore I Am, and then doing a solo project for so long. He did a bike across the country thing for charity, playing acoustic guitar. He never ever stopped, and he started crew for a Warped Tour. He did the acoustic basement stage. I don't know if you remember that, but he ran that. And I remember he told me he got an offer for some new up and coming pop thing to get involved as a TM, and here we are. And he has been the guy with Billie Eilish now, watching her grow and build, and he did it. He found his place in there.
Yeah.
He's top paid tour manager now, after putting all the years in trying to make his music, and he could still make his music and love it. But he found a place, and I think like if you want it, it'll come in some way. But you just got to be open to the idea that maybe it's not the exact way that you think it's going to happen, because the industry is so small that you have to be open to the idea of if you want to make it in the music industry, you got to be open to the idea that it could be in a position that you had no idea was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
True that.
So we're talking about touring. What's some of the craziest shit you guys have done or gone through?
You're asking a punk band this.
Yeah,
Damn.
punk band. Yeah. Dude, punk parties were the craziest parties I've ever been to. I was always more in the hardcore scene, but I love punk. I love listening to punk. I love punk shows because everyone's so fucking crazy.
All right. What kind of stories are we talking about here?
Whatever you're willing to share.
Whatever sticks out the most to you, it kind of makes you giggle a little bit. Whatever.
Thing that I think of is we go to Canada quite often because we're close. So we go to Ontario and Quebec rather often, and the Maritimes. In fact, 2 times ago when we were in the Maritimes, which is like over Maine, all the way east, on the last day we were in Canada, we stayed at a place in, I want to say it was St. John, and there was a lot of confusion going on, and a lot of people coming in and out the door, and a lot of drugs being consumed. And like we had all of our bags in one of the bedrooms, and I'll never forget. At some point, one of my guys just came out of the room and was like, "They're just doing coke, but like really poorly, and it's just getting all over all of our things. We should probably get our bags and bedding out of the room." And I remember having to get all of our belongings because we were crossing the border the next morning. And sometimes they do
the dogs, yeah.
So outside, like patting all of our backpacks off. It was just like one of those things that we were just kind of awkwardly sitting there watching this kind of all unfold around us.
How do you do coke poorly though?
I don't know.
To get it to everywhere.
It wasn't on like a surface that could keep it from falling all over the place. This last full U.S. tour we did with Home Safe, we were in the Quad Cities of Iowa and Illinois, and we stayed in an Airbnb, and it was raining. And when we got there, we pulled in with the van, and we realized it was super muddy. And this was in like the evening, before we went inside, I was like, "Yo, I think that we should probably not leave the van here. Let's back it back out, leave it on the street." And as soon as we put it in reverse, it was stuck. So we look for wood, laying on the tires, the classic, can't get it out. All right. We call a tow truck. Tow truck comes. It hooks onto us, starts pulling us. Tow truck gets stuck. We destroyed this person's yard from the vehicles moving all around. Tow truck guy's pissed off. It's now like 1 a.m. Second tow truck comes around 3 a.m. Second tow truck comes, lashes onto him, starts pulling him. He's like destroying, almost hits a tree. The van's just swaying all over the place. Second tow truck gets stuck.
Oh my God.
Second larger tow truck stuck. At this point, everyone goes inside. I say, "I'll sleep in the front seat of the van. We'll just see what happens." Around 5 o'clock, a third and massive tow truck comes. And at this point, I'm just delirious. And I'm watching this guy hook up the second tow truck and just almost also getting stuck, but then bracing himself with chains around another tree to pull himself out, get the second truck, get the first truck, get us. All these tow truck drivers have been here all. Everyone's pissed. Everyone's angry. Everyone's upset with us. We're staying in Airbnb. They keep forgetting that it's an Airbnb, so they think it's our property. We're like, dude, we also didn't plan this.
Yeah.
And then I went inside to go to sleep at around 6 a.m. and the people who had went to bed were already awake, some of them, and I slept on the floor in a closet because I was just so angry. I'll never forget that. That was the most insane.
Oh my god, dude.
Towing experience ever.
I'd be so pissed. I'd be just pissed at the fact that they're not thinking ahead of, you know, what you need to do to get out of here. You call a tow company, you expect them to fucking know, hey, you know, you're gonna get.
They each had the same thing. They each were like, "Oh, we're good. We'll get out of here."
Yeah.
Three fucking tow trucks, dude. Really?
I swear to God, 3 tow trucks. 3 tow trucks.
It's like a fucking
Get
episode of
every-
SNL and shit. God damn.
Jeez,
really
how
felt
many
like-
tow trucks does it take to get a touring pumpkin? I can't even talk right. It's got me all fucked up.
We had no trailer. Like, it was just a van, no trailer. Like, but their yard in the morning, oh my Christ.
Oh.
Their yard was wiped out.
How much did you guys get charged for that?
Oh, because we called them when we first got stuck and told them, like, we're stuck in your driveway because of the storm. You didn't tell us, like, it was going to be mud. We're stuck here. The tow truck can't get us out now. You need to come down here. You need to come down here and help. They refused to come. Never heard from them. Never heard from Airbnb. Never heard from the owners.
Okay. Oh, you guys got lucky
Wow.
there. Because, well, I mean,
It
not
was-
even, because it wasn't even your fault.
It looked like a vehicle came in and was ripping up all the ground
Donuts and shit.
out gravel. That's what it looked like. It looked like they
God.
were getting work in the house.
Holy fuck.
Wow.
That was a good one. That was a good, funny one.
Yeah, it definitely was. So you said you guys prank and do skits. What kind of shit do you guys do?
Well, the band is filled with personalities. So
Who's the biggest asshole? Because when we were in a band, I was the biggest asshole. I was the most shit talking. I was just.
It changes on the day. It changes on the. Everyone can be one though. Everyone can be an asshole. There's no question. But with each other, we're not with like other people.
No, yeah, of course. No, I meant like I'm an asshole to Jake. I talk so much shit to him. I was an asshole to everyone else. Just pranking, you know,
Right.
Fun, not
Yeah, we
real
do
big.
that, and it's depending on the day and the situation and the current standing someone is in. It definitely rotates. I don't think that we have one person that's the biggest.
Just one dedicated asshole.
I don't think we have that. But yet we're all jokes all the time. It's really hard for our close circle of friends and like friends bands to ever really know if we're being serious about something or not, because we're always joking so often that it's like, I understand why they tell us it's hard to know when you're kidding or not.
Yeah.
You guys are always you're always on. Like, we're always on. We're annoying because we're all like, we're hyper energy on stage, but also we're hyper energy like not on stage, like as people. And that can be really challenging to some people when there's a large group of people in your face that are like, we can go into a place and basically hijack it as if it's ours, because we're all so abundantly on that you could railroad someone right off, like truthfully. And
Yeah.
we're guilty of it. I think sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. But we just turn any situation into a fun situation. I don't know why people don't want that.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, who wants to be bored all times? I don't want to be in a, with a band or a group of people where I'm just sitting down on my phone the whole time and not joking, not talking shit. That's how I know, that's what I tell people. That's how I know that I get along with you, because I'm able to talk shit to you, or I'm able,
There's a camaraderie that happens when you're in a band with a group of people.
We definitely we definitely sometimes have people be like, listen, I'm just in a bad mood and I just want to go sit alone by myself. And we're like, okay, we got it. We got it. Because we're like, we'll not realize that somebody is legit dealing with something that they're not looking to be.
Yeah. And you know when to turn it off,
Right.
There's just
you got to tell us.
Yeah, there's some people that just don't know when to turn it off, but
we can read it sometimes. Like I'll be like, oh shit, everyone needs to stop. Like I'll put it in the group chat, leave so and so, like let them be alone. But like for the most part, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
No, not some people hide it very well. I usually don't fucking show my emotions, and
right.
Everyone has to say what they're feeling. So this is my last question: is what are you guys working on right now? What do you have coming up?
So the record's done. And like every other band and every other label and every friend's opinion and advice that I got, we pushed the release of the record because everyone thought in the beginning that we were only going to be not touring for about 2 months. So everybody pushed their records. We did the same. And again, like a lot of bands and labels and managers and stuff, we've realized touring's not coming back and we don't want to keep waiting. So we are going to release our new record. It's going to come out in December. It's the best music we've ever written. It has some of our classic Keep Flying sound, and also there's a few tracks, 3 specifically, that are very different from anything we've done before, which I think is really cool. And we started teasing the first single that we're going to release first week of September. So we're going to keep teasing that, but it's going to be that Thursday or that Friday. We're going to decide.
It's coming up real quick.
If it's going to be Friday. Friday is the day that everyone releases music, and you just don't have to do that. You can truly release it whenever you want.
Yeah, and you're punk.
But with music business, there's Music Friday, so you're hoping for like playlists. You could release it on a Monday.
Friday. Most people just got paid.
Right. So we might do it on the Thursday, but we just got the single art. I just sent it to the group chat right before I called you guys. I hope when I get off the phone that they all said yes and approved it.
Approved, yeah.
And it goes hand in hand with the album art, so I think it's good. And then that's it. We have a whole rollout plan for September through December on rolling out the record. And I hope that our people like it, and I hope we make some new fans. And I'm really proud of it. I think the whole band can agree on that. And we actually have music for after that already, which is why we're no longer delaying. We don't want to delay anymore because like movies, like the theater industry, like every entertainment industry, if we keep pushing, we're going into future plans. So we don't want to keep compromising that. So this is it. We put out Unbreakable last December. So our new record will come out this December. That's a nice year in between. And we look forward to playing the songs. We haven't done any of those live stream shows like bands have done.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to until after the record's out. Around the holidays, I think we'll do one of those for our fans who have patiently waited.
Kind of like an album live release show.
Exactly. That way we can play the record in full for these people. Not the way we'd want, but if we're going to do one of those live streams, we want to be able to do it with all our new music.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, of course.
That'll be the plan. And like everybody else, we'll just wait patiently for the world to be less ill, and I can assure you that we'll be right back to doing live music when we're able to.
I think the listeners will be the first to know.
Yeah, so I've actually said more than I've said, and I told you both this before we started the podcast, but I've said more about the new record just now than we've put anywhere. So this is all news that even we have not shared yet.
Appreciate that. Yeah, definitely.
Name of the first single is Fire Sale. and that's the name of the
I
song.
like it. I like it already. Brings me
Oh,
back.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Definitely excited for that.
I think it is a classic sounding "Keep Flying" song. There's a music video for it that are, as always, Jesse Gonzalez, Red Hat put together. I think we did a great job. It is it follows the lyrical narrative of the song, for sure. So I'm excited for that. And then we go from there with the next single. Another single after that before the record gets announced.
So you're going to do 2 singles and then the album.
Correct. And once after we've announced the record, maybe we'll still release another song early, like when we're close to the record coming out. We've already filmed 2 music videos for these first 2 singles, and we're getting together the last weekend of August to film 2 more videos.
God damn, you guys are staying busy.
You guys are freaking going.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we pride ourselves on having a video. As of right now, we have a music video for every song that we have minus 1. And we want to make sure we have this dream of the record comes out in December, and we want to, by like March of next year, we want there to be a video out for the whole record. Like we want the whole record to be like all the videos are out.
Well, like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, like rappers do it. Like it's pop music does.
Yeah.
Like,
if you listen to any new rap, they have a music video for every one of their songs, and that's
every single has a video. Like,
yeah.
Why not? Like it's even if people don't watch it ever again, they stream it one time. It's still there. What if one of those songs is the song that pops? What if one of those videos is so good that it makes people listen to the song?
Yeah. Because some people listen to a song because of a music video, and that's so true. I've heard many songs that are, on the radio I never cared for, and then I watched the video and I'm like, okay, this actually sounds good. It makes sense. Now I get it. Now I understand. Now I like it. So
I get into it at night when I can't fall asleep. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm watching an OK Go music video, and then I just fall into it. Oh my
God, those OK Go videos are crazy.
I watch 7. Oh, I feel like I can't stop watching them.
Yeah, the first one was
and so on and so forth. I just can't stop. Then I watch live videos, bands like from too long ago, like playing some crazy set. Like you just get stuck.
Yeah.
So, and then that's it. We're talking about going back to the studio, also in the fall, to continue moving forward.
Awesome. That's great.
We'll see how that goes. I think we're gonna get together soon to jam soon. I think we need to just get together and like play music together.
A much
just
needed
play the
jam session.
Play.
Yeah.
Because we're all feeling it right now. Like we all miss it. That would probably feel pretty good. So maybe we'll do that like September.
Yeah, maybe. Everyone needs a good jam session.
Well,
we're definitely excited for what's coming out in December, you said, right?
December is going to be the record. Yep. There's another rhyme and reason for that. The short version, bands don't release records in December because the music industry usually is closed.
Yeah.
Music industry is already closed. Bands pushed all their releases from the spring because of COVID to the fall. Every Friday in September, October, and November is going to have so many record releases that we decided let's just do it in December when there's going to be much less.
Yeah.
Less traffic, maybe more on ours, and just in time for the holidays when people hopefully are, regardless of the global situation, hopefully people are in some sort of better spirits. We consider ourselves a positive band, and so I like to release the record around what normally is a positive time. It's the holidays. You want to have a good time, whether it's Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, nothing, New Year's, whatever it is. It's like a lot of people find good energy there. So I'm hoping that can be intertwined with our new record.
I'm sure it will.
And if not, whatever. You don't care. We're having fun. It is what it is.
Yeah, you're doing what you love. You're doing what you love.
So low, you got low expectations, everything rocks. So my expectations are zero. One person listens to the record, it's great.
Yeah.
Thanks. If people hate it and they say they hate the record, sure, you wrote that you hate it, which means somebody else is going to listen to it.
Someone's promoting it, regardless on if it's positive or negative promotion. It's still a promotion.
All you can say is thanks for listening.
Exactly. give it the little like symbol on Facebook. That's like the only social media that I've been using lately.
That's where I get all my memes.
I stay there. I just stay there. My friends are older and they actually use Facebook, so it's like these is where my actual friends are when it comes to social media. So I'll just stay there.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much.
Thank you again very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
It was a good time.
Looking forward to the version.
What was that?
Looking forward to the edited version. Is that a thing?
It's pretty much raw. I just add your guys' social media on this, add a little outro, boom, it's done.
That's the edited.
That's the edited version.
I didn't know if you cut like certain dead times and like just made it faster or what, but that's nice.
Nah, we're good.
Oh.
We're good.
No, we kept it going. And that's it. That was our interview with John with Keep Flying. Dude's pretty cool. Shared a lot of good, insightful stuff. Before the podcast, we chatted a little bit. I like the guy. He's really, really cool.
Yeah, it was a great interview. Keep Flying is an awesome punk rock band. Listen to them. They have an album that came out last year, 2019, called Unbreakable. I would say it's an EP, LP. There's about 3 songs, one of which is called Reason, which is my favorite song from them. It's a brand new song. And then you heard it here first. They are releasing a new album, 2 singles. 2 singles coming up in the next couple months, and then December, their album, which is pretty exciting. I'm
excited. I'm gonna listen to it. I'll probably buy it if I can get a job. Aren't our listeners supposed to be buying our merch?
Buy our merch. Buy our merch, please. We're begging you. Up there, down there, somewhere. So, if you guys want to hear, certain people, let us know anything you need from us, anything you want to ask, certain bands. If you actually like a band that we get, let us know. We'll, ask you questions. And I think I have some exciting ideas for the next couple episodes, so I need to talk to Jake about that, and then we'll, promote it if
this is the first time hearing about it.
It's the first,
That's
first
good.
time. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Peace.